Hey, good evening, and welcome to the Winter 2022 Madden Challenge. We're joined tonight by faculty, students, staff, parents, which is awesome that the parents came out, alumni as well. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. The Madden Challenge, put on by the University of Denver, Daniels College of Business and Entrepreneurship at the University of Denver. This event is live, but also streaming across the country as well for those people that could not join us. Yes, it's amazing that we can do those types of technologies on these days. So one of the cool things about tonight is this is only the second time in 2 years we've had the opportunity to host this live for the obvious reasons. While Zoom has some of its capabilities that we don't have in person, it's much better for all of us to be in person together tonight. My name is Joshua Ross. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurship here at the University of Denver, and I'll be your host tonight. So the Madden Challenge has taken place every year since 2012. And during that time, we've had almost 400 student winners and given away over $135,000. This is all made possible by the John J. Madden family. They've been supporting the Madden Challenge since the inception in 2012. Yes. Give me a second to make sure I don't miss anything. If you're interested, we'll be posting live. Our social media team will be posting live tonight on all our social media channels. Hit that QR code, hashtag DU Madden Challenge to win some swag. So in the fall, what we did is we had our first NFT drop for the Madden Challenge. Eli Bucksbaum, some of you may know him, is an artist here at the University of Denver, created our first NFT in the fall and also created our winter one. You have the opportunity. Gaston is somewhere outside. Oh, he's right there if you want to get the NFT for this event, which at some point in time may be worth a lot of money. So make sure to grab that. Okay, so first of all, why are we here? What's this all about? So students in the Fourth Industrial Revolution Technologies class, which is a intro to business course in the Daniels College of Business, but it's a course that students from all over campus take. The first 3 weeks of this course, they learn about these different technologies in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, extended reality, blockchain, autonomous vehicles, drones, a lot of the tech that you saw in the first part of the event tonight. At the end of the 3 weeks, they form teams and come up with a business idea around one of these technologies. And throughout the quarter, they worked to build out this business idea, identifying the target market, go-to-market strategy, identifying a problem, unmet need or opportunity, and how this tech solves that. So this is what they're going to pitch tonight. Let's meet our judges. Our first judge is Robin Foreman. Is an entrepreneurial leader with experience in technology, telecommunications, IoT, and consumer product goods. She's been launching disruptive products for AT&T, Nortel, and Huawei, and growing early-stage startups into stable brands. Those of you that are old enough to drink might have had one of her drinks called Canteen. If you're under 21, don't tell me that you've had it. Robin is also a proud alum of the University of Denver. She got her MBA from the Daniels College of Business and is also an adjunct professor. Our next judge is Brian Abrams, president of Ibex Investors, where he leads a venture capital practice that he co-founded in 2011. He helped grow this, think about this, from $2 million to over $700 million. Brian has spent over 2 decades focused on international markets such as Israel and India. Brian loves working with passionate founders who have big dreams and big hearts. Our next judge is Lisa Viktorovich. Lisa is the Associate Dean of Faculty and Research in the Daniels College of Business. She is also the Director of the Executive PhD, and she's also my boss, which is true. Okay, our final judge tonight is an awesome story. This is Zach Edelman. He graduated in 2014 from the University of Denver. In the first iteration of the Madden Challenge, he used to help us run it. So I thought, you know what? Why not bring him back to see how it's changed, bring back some of our alums. Zach has led technology consulting teams that support digital experience transformation and is now focused particularly on digital content management solutions. Zach is a strategic content manager at Contentful. Okay, this is the journey. This quarter, we had 5 sections, 35 student teams working on different projects. We had what's called open call. Students applied to get into open call, and this is where they pitch their idea to the faculty. Of the 32 teams that applied, 19 teams were accepted into the science fair. That's what happened the first part of tonight. That's what you saw first. And at that point, that was their opportunity to pitch their idea. They had 2 minutes to pitch their idea to each one of the judges. Of the 19, we have 6 finalists tonight. 5 were selected by the judges, and 1 was the Audience Choice Award. Okay, this is the judging criteria for tonight. Most important, are the teams clearly articulating a problem, unmet need, or opportunity? And is there a clear solution tied to the problem? How does one of the 4th Industrial Revolution technologies apply to the solution to solve that problem? Is there a target market clearly defined? Is this idea feasible? And is it a quality pitch? Okay, so there's a little wrinkle to what we're doing tonight. The judges have selected the 5 teams. The audience has selected the 1 team. So we have 6 teams. All the teams are sitting in the audience. Not one team has any idea who the 6 teams are. So they've all had to prepare their 5-minute pitch. They'll all tell you that they're not nervous. There's no anxiety. They're just ready to roll. So the first time they know they'll be they'll come up to pitch is when I call their name. All right, let the competition begin. Our first team is, oh, suspense. Yeah, Bios Medical. Please grab the microphones over here. Come up on stage. And the clicker's all ready to go.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Does this work?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. We are Bios Medical. So to start our presentation today, we're going to ask the audience a question. So could you please raise your hand if you have ever experienced a reaction to medication? This could be a stomach ache, a headache, or nausea. Okay, thank you. So as represented in the audience, 1 in 5 Americans experience a drug adverse event in 2018 that is reaction to medication. So the average number of medications taken daily is 4 in the US, and 50% of these people go through a medical non-adherence event, which is they don't take their prescription drugs as advised. Okay, so Bios Medical targets to eliminate the trial and error process in prescription drugs. We are a company that uses a wearable smart device that uses IoT technology, sensors, and blockchain database to help eliminate the reactions to prescription drugs and the trial and error process. Okay, so here is our device. This is our device that we have created with a 3D printer as our prototype. So the device, you wear it and it tracks your vitals, and then it is sent to the Bios Medical database. Our device comes in all sizes and colors. And the cool thing about our device is that you never have to take it off to charge it. So this battery is magnetic because we don't want you to lose any precious data. So when your bracelet is low, you just click the battery on and it charges it for you. Okay, so how our device works. So you wear the Bios Medical device and it tracks vitals, it tracks your blood oxygen level, your heart rate and body temperature, etc. And then that data is sent to our Bios Medical database and it looks for patterns and outliers. If there is an outlier, then it notifies your doctor, or in life and death situation, notifies EMS, and they are sent to your location. If there is an outlier, it is your doctor's alerted and they have a BIOS medical patient ID to access your personal information and your medical and the data, so there's no like violation of HIPAA. Okay, so our total addressable market is individuals that are 60 and older that have chronic illnesses and are taking at least one prescription medication.
Okay, so now our target market. Through our research, we found that 7 in 10 Americans with one chronic illness take the time to actually track their own health indicators in some form. With that information, we also realized that these people are much more likely to utilize help being given to them from their healthcare professionals. So our starting market would be the villages in Florida. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a large scale retirement community. The median age there is 72 years old, so perfect for our target market. And then through our primary research, we found that about 42% of people agree that they have experienced some type of trial and error phase when trying new medications. With this, we also saw that 74% of people saw value in this device and would invest in something similar. So for our revenue models, we have two. The first being business to consumer, which is where we'll sell our BIOS medical device via our website. We also have business to business, which is the sale of the subscription to our BIOS medical database that is sold annually and monthly, and that is also found on our website. Now for our competitors, we have Vitals and 100+. As you can see, BIOS Medical is the only device that checks all boxes on the screen. Vitals is a close second, but the thing that sets us apart is that we are able to actually monitor how the medication is reacting to your body. So here we have our website where you can purchase the database as well as the device. We want to talk about our marketing strategies, which are to go to doctor's offices and put our information there, as well as in retirement communities, like we said, TV ads, newspaper, as well as Facebook, because that is the social media platform that our target market uses the most. So to conclude our presentation, I'm going to tell a quick story about real life impact for BIOS Medical. Here on the right is my sister Audrey in the yellow dress. Last year in November, she had a seizure due to an overdose of serotonin. And the reason this happened was because she was on multiple medications for chronic illnesses that she has, and her doctors didn't see the overlap in serotonin in all of these medications. So her serotonin uptake inhibitors were basically frazzled because of the immense amounts of serotonin. Because of this, it's made Audrey really reluctant to take medication. And if it had been for the BIOS medical device, this most likely wouldn't have happened. So with that, thank you so much. We are BIOS Medical. Have a great night.
Excellent start. It's very tough to go first. You all did a great job. Okay, for our second team tonight, I think we got this one right, correct? Let's do it. Life-saving systems. They got up like they expected to be up here. Woo!
So hi, my name's Sam Fordyce. I'm the CEO and founder of Life Saving Systems. So Life Saving Systems is bringing you the N.I.S. That's a naloxone injector device that allows users to reliably self-administer naloxone, the drug that reverses heroin overdose. It also tracks vital signs and location and sends this information to the EMS for additional help. But before I tell you what the N.I.S. is, please let me tell you why it matters. Since 1999, over 760,000 people have died from opiate overdoses. And this picture may look really happy, but it's a kind of a perspective tool. Enough people have died from overdose to fill this stadium 10 times over. We are in a crisis. There is a solution though, and that solution is naloxone. So naloxone, commonly coming in the Narcan device, binds to the opioid receptors in the brain and reverses the neurotoxicity caused by opioids in a person's system. It also immediately produces withdrawal effects, so our users aren't encouraged to continue on because they're not fun. Trust me, I'm in recovery and I've been through them. Our product is like a seatbelt. You can choose to wear it and it will save your life, and if you don't, you may die.
So my name is Kimberly Guevara, and I'll be going over our N.I.S. system. So our naloxone injector system is a self-administering system comprised of 3 different parts. The first part is an auto injector. Our second part is a PPG wristband, as well as our N.I.S. app. So our first part is the naloxone auto injector. What this does is that it contains 8 milliliters of naloxone, a preloaded 1-inch syringe, so that the naloxone can be administered intramuscularly, shown here on Sam's upper thigh. That's where it will be worn. And it also contains a Bluetooth receiver to connect to both the N.I.S. app as well as the wristband. So next we have the wristband. And what this looks at is 3 very specific signs. The first is heart rate, the second is oxygen rate, and the third is body temperatures. If these 3 signs are shown, then we can tell this person may be overdosing. What do we do now? Then we go to our N.I.S. app. The N.I.S. app is comprised of 2 different functions. The first function that we're looking at is, how do we know if this person is overdosing? If the person contains specific levels of very low oxygen levels, very low heart rate levels, we know, okay, something's going on. Then we look at the body temperature. We say, this person is overdosing. Let's administer that naloxone. And our N.I.S. app has the capabilities of connecting with our auto injector and saving that person's life. The second piece of our function is that it has the capabilities of contacting EMS services. And this person will be able to have their live vitals sent to EMS, as well as a location, the exact location of where this person will be, so they can receive that help.
So our primary research of 100 18 to 25-year-olds indicated that 62% of that survey knew someone who had overdosed, and similarly, 62% of people aren't comfortable with using the current systems in the market. Clearly, we have a problem. This is our competition. It's Narcan. Its main flaw is that someone else needs to be there to administer the drug. But with life-saving systems, N.I.S., you no longer need that. We are able to save the lives our competitors leave behind. So who's going to buy this thing? The addicts sure aren't. We know that, and we're targeting this primarily to the Gen X parents and sober living homes that these people rely on. So Gen X parents have an average annual income of $100,000 a year, and they're extremely willing to buy to protect their family. The sober living homes also will buy this product as a form of insurance for their clients. So how do we market this N.I.S.? So Generation X loves them some Facebook. So we're going to hit them with some targeted Facebook ads. And then we're also going to use a commission system with doctors and the sober living home, where we give them a small percentage of our profits in return for new end users.
How are we going to do this? Well, there is an FDA approval process called the Breakthrough Device Program. And what this does is it provides guaranteed funding, shorter timing, as well as guaranteed clinical trials. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this process, have our medical device approved, and once our N.I.S. medical device is approved, we will save lives.
So the man behind me is Uncle Johnny to me. He was my favorite uncle, and he unfortunately passed from a heroin overdose in 2014 after trying to get sober. He died alone in his New York apartment, and had he had the N.I.S., his life might have been saved. Thank you. We're life-saving systems. Our product is the N.I.S.
Give David the mic.
Thanks.
All right, well done. Are you ready? Okay. Our third team is Mic Up. What's this?
You got it, you did. We are My Cup, and we create 3D printed menstrual cups.
So why do we create 3D printed menstrual cups? Each year in the United States, $2.8 billion are spent on disposable menstrual products that end up piled up in landfills, wasting space, and polluting our ecosystem at an unreasonable cost. One tampon can be up to 90% plastic and equivalent to approximately 4 plastic grocery shopping bags. And one reusable menstrual cup can replace 2,600 pads of tampons. A single menstrual user in their lifetime will use anywhere between 5,000 and 15,000 disposable menstrual products. Socially, 2/3 of women with low income could not afford these menstrual products in the last year, and this is known as period poverty. 16.9 million people across the United States are affected by this issue. As you can see, based on our primary research, 6.4%, which was also 8 out of the 125 women that took our survey, were not able to afford menstrual products at a point in their life. Although this is a very small percentage, it is still a percentage, and our goal at My Cup is to make that percentage as close to zero as we can get it. And reasons why women who took our survey actually used menstrual cups is for the sustainable aspect of it. And that shows that women are open to making the sustainable change, and we want to be that change.
So what is our product? Our product is a 3D printed customizable menstrual cup. So when women want to purchase a menstrual cup rather than a single-use plastic such as a tampon or pad, they can go to their gynecologist and have their gynecologist measure their cervix. While they're in the doctor's office, they can have their app open to fill in their measurements so they can get a custom menstrual cup. This way, it saves the discomfort, leakage, and strange feeling inside that other generic menstrual cup brands have. So the material we have in our prototype use is TPE, but recently studies have shown that medical grade silicone can be 3D printed. This silicone is safe for medical use and insertion inside the body, so that is what we will use to print our menstrual cups. So if women do not have access to a gynecologist, they can go onto our website and apply for one of our 6 generic sizes based on age and flow. So why did we build this? Based off of our primary research, most women stopped using menstrual cups due to their inconvenience, comfortability, and the leakiness based on each cup. And so why women have not tried using them based on our primary research is they've never heard of them, are scared to use them, and don't know how to use them. Our website supplies multiple resources on how to insert them, ways to use them, and what they're specifically used for. So who's our target market? Based off our primary research, most of our responses were from 16 to 19-year-olds and 31 to 40-year-olds. This way, we were able to break down our target market to the ages of 18 to 38. How are we going to market our product? Many women in our survey responded with that they didn't know what a menstrual cup was. Our competitors do not use social media marketing or search engine optimization to provide what their services is and how it can help make a difference in the planet and each individual. Therefore, we are going to use social media marketing and search engine optimization to market our product. Our revenue model is an online business to consumer strategy because of our customization. So women can go online and purchase our product after hearing about us on social media or on our website. And then they can fill in and order their sizes. And one day we hope to bring our product to the consumer level of in-person business at Target or Walgreens.
So this is a list of our top 3 competitors. It is the Diva Cup, Nixit, and Salt. And as you can see, the Diva Cup and Nixit both do not have any social impacts that they're donating towards, but Salt donates 2% of their revenue to regions that most need period care needs. And at My Cup, we are partnering with the Period Pantry to improve our social impact. And these other brands also only have anywhere from 1 to 3 sizes, which we have found through their reviews as well, that women do not feel comfortable with these 3 sizes, as 1 size does not fit all and 3 size also does not fit all, because each woman's body is different and unique. So why are we so unique? We custom fit for maximum comfort. And by doing that, that is why we are 3D printing. And with our 1-for-1 program, we are partnering with the Period Pantry, as I said before, because these numbers listed on the bottom right here show how many menstrual products they've distributed in the past year. And the number of menstrual cups distributed is the lowest, so we hope to make that number as high as possible.
As a company, we hope to end single-use plastics across the country and end period poverty, starting with our one-to-one program here in Denver, Colorado. Thank you.
Great job. Give them that. Give
Thank
me
you.
the clicker.
Thank you.
You guys all have enough time to score, right? Scoring's been okay? Yeah, okay. Hold on for a second. You good? All right, our fourth team tonight is Hydra One. None. Come on down. This is clicker? You want to use this? Yeah, sure.
Hello, my name is Max.
And I'm Lalo.
We are Hydra One, and this is our exact drop irrigation system. So across the United States, approximately 70% of our water usage goes towards agriculture. However, approximately 40% of that is actually wasted due to poor efficiency in our irrigation systems. The fresh water that these systems use is essential to our existence as a human race. However, it's running out very quickly. And with the rate that our population is expanding, we need to solve this problem as soon as possible, which is why we invented Exact Drop.
All right, so here we'll show a visual representation of what our prototype would look like. So compared to traditional irrigation systems, they will contain a timer instead of a like control box. Ours will have an IoT device or technology that will control weather monitoring systems and detect when it should activate depending on if it's sunny as well as rainy. So traditional weather monitoring systems don't really detect the weather forecast, and they're not as accurate as ours. And so the good thing about ours is that you could also retrofit our system into any current irrigational systems. So that's also what stands us out from the other systems as well. And as previously stated, we would be having an app interference that will connect to the monitoring system to detect the weather for the day, as well as make choices on when it needs to activate and how much it also needs to activate.
So although our total addressable market is 2.02 million farms across the United States, our actual target market is any organic farm under 200 acres of land. So basic statistics about this target market is the median age of the market is about middle age, hovering at around 48. And most of our target market is unsurprisingly male at about 70% male, 30% female. Now, what we found in our primary research were two very important things about our market. The first of which being that most of these farms often have less than $10,000 to spend on equipment each year, which sounds like a lot, but in the context of farming, it's actually a very minuscule amount. As well as that, they spend upwards of $35,000 a year just on water alone. And even though our target market is actually under 200 acres, most farms actually ended up being under 100. Now, we do have a few competitors in the form of Valley 365, Netafilm, and Kestrelmet. However, we offer a few distinct advantages over these companies, first of which being our price. We're able to offer our product at such a low price because, unlike these companies, we outsource our local weather monitoring to the National Weather Service instead of using like a patented technology. Our other advantages include, as you said before, our ability to retrofit our system onto whatever irrigation system you might already have installed on your farm, as well as our lack of a subscription fee for our services. Now, as for how we're actually going to do this, we need to look at our mission and our vision. So our mission currently is to contact farms under 200 acres of land, build a connection with them, sell our product to them, and grow our brand from there. Our vision is here in the next 5 years. We're going to be sticking to organic farming as a subsector. However, we're going to be trying to reach past that 200 acre mark. We're going to do this using a few different methods, the first of which being dual distribution by partnering with agricultural retailers to sell our product, as well as going through direct sales ourselves. We will be attending trade shows and industry events for agriculture to showcase our product. And finally, we are going to be using search engine optimization to take advantage of our niche and show our product to those who are looking for it and might have a use for it. Thank you.
All right, that was Hydra One. I just want to point something out that I failed to say at the beginning. This is a predominantly first-year class. So we have some second and third years, and sometimes we even get fourth years. Most of these students were walking across our high school stage in June of last year, and now they're up here pitching. It's pretty impressive when you put it in that perspective. And I just want to make sure everybody was aware of the students and the hard work that they put in to make these pitches as professional as they look. All right, we've got two left. Our next team, team number 5, I'm drawing it. Oh, I was drawing this out. Redeem VR, come on up. Take it off.
Okay. So our product is Redeem VR. So why Redeem VR? In a survey that my team and I conducted, 79% of participants out of 91 participants claim to have dealt with an underlying mental health illness at one point in their lives or another. The problem here lies in the fact that 60% of US counties have no practicing psychiatrists, which indicates a clear need for an innovative form of therapy. Let's see. Yeah. So that's some of our primary research. Furthermore, we found out that those were among the ones that were, I guess, the most prominent. Some of them being anxiety disorder, depression, etc. Okay, so the basis of our idea is software that's compatible with VR technology. The software you access it via the cloud, and what it aims to do is it mimics real life like scenarios. For example, someone dealing with social anxiety would do something similar to what I'm doing right now. And what this aims to do is help patients ease their way back into the real world without having to deal with like the, I guess, anxiety and the pressure of harming themselves or others among their recovery process.
Okay, so we want to start in Texas and Florida because both of these states deal with the most mental health patients. And we found that in Texas, there are 200 counties that don't have active practicing psychiatrists. And there's also psychiatrist shortage in Florida. So that's why we want to target those states, especially Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio in Texas, as well as Tampa, Orlando, and Miami in Florida.
Okay, so the prototype demonstration, so there's these these surveys that the doctors take on behalf of the patients to match scenario to a patient. The caregivers and the doctors are gonna be the ones taking these surveys to match. And the certain scenarios are geared towards certain mental disorders. So as I mentioned before, someone with like social anxiety would have to do something that involves them either interacting with other people or like public speaking. And the software is compatible with top selling like VR headsets. And I want to preface that saying that we don't make the VR headsets, just the technology and the software. And you could tell if it's working by biofeedback modalities. So doctors will be able to see like a live stream of like blood pressure, heart rate, stuff like that. So they know that the VR like scenario and the technology is actually working.
So the augmented and virtual reality market is expected to skyrocket by the year 2027. So we feel that now is a great time to put our product into the market, as we feel it could be a great stepping stone to really expand this virtual and reality market. So our revenue model, we want to sell our product straight to hospitals and doctors. So it's going to be business to business. And we feel like that a monthly subscription is the best way to do this. So these doctors and hospitals will pay monthly for our software, and we will have full reign at any time if they're not paying anymore to cut off their subscription. So our target market, like I said, we want to start in Texas and Florida as our 2 states. And we found that only 5% of doctors right now use virtual reality as a way of treatment. We found that 82% of mental health care workers feel that it could be a useful way of treatment, as well as 62% of patients also agree that it could be a useful way for treatment. So here are some of our competitors. We have Pecious, Karuna Labs, and Limbix. So as you can see, our company Redeem VR has access via the cloud, a monthly subscription, it deals with mental health issues like anxiety, depression, PTSD, and phobias, as well as it's compatible with biofeedback. And as you can see, not all of the rest of our competitors have all of those features. So that's our presentation. So thank you very much.
Well done. Okay, before we bring up our final group, at the conclusion of their presentation, the judges are going to go back to their judging room and we are going to tabulate the scores. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to announce the first, the second, and the third place winners. During that time, Professor Pollard is going to come up and interview one of our students that has actually gone through this class, gone through from idea to first dollar sale, and has a business, and she's actually making revenue. Talk a little bit about her story, just to give everybody a little perspective on some of the different opportunities at the University of Denver through entrepreneurship. So make sure to stick around for that, and also to stick around to see who's going to take home the big checks. Okay, the next and final group is, everybody ready? Okay, safe to wear. Good luck.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Kohler. I'm a first year at DU.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kylie Shirk, and I'm also a first-year student here at DU. This is a picture of me when I was 5 years old. What isn't captured in this image is a divorce that was going on between my parents at this age. My father struggled with bipolar disorder as well as addiction, and I clearly knew at this age which parent I wanted to reside with during the custody battle. However, I was never able to voice this opinion to the courts. Thankfully, with the help of good lawyers, as well as my mom who was fighting for her children, she was able to gain full custody of my siblings and I. However, this is not the case with every child. 5 children die every single day from child abuse and neglect in the United States. Worst of all, these children are rarely ever given a voice in courts, and if they're asked to speak to a victim advocate, they may not be willing to tell the full truth in fear of what the consequences may bring. Most courts require children to be at least 16 years of age, yet 68% of child abuse victims are under the age of 4 years old. So how do we give children a voice while also keeping them safe and feeling secure, while also allowing the judge to make an informed decision that is truly in the best interest of the child?
Introducing Safe to Wear, a comfortable way to help children facing abusive situations. Now, our bracelet attaches directly to the child's wrist. It is mandated by the courts, which means that the courts will be able to take the bracelet on and off, and no one else will. As a part of our primary research, we asked a 9-year-old to attach the bracelet to his wrist. What we found was that after 48 hours, he only took it off when he was instructed to do so. Now, our device uses IoT technology as well as sensors containing LED lights that will monitor for sleep patterns, stress, nutrition levels, physical impact, abusive language in English and in Spanish, and silence levels that indicate neglect. All put together, we'll be able to read data that will let us know whether abuse is present in the household. Now, if the bracelet is ever taken off for any reason despite our safe design, or if there's any abnormalities in vital signs, local authorities will be automatically notified. In addition, we understand that it's a lot to ask for a bracelet to stay on 24/7. So we have a clip-on charger that will attach directly to the bracelet to make sure it stays charged at all times. Now, as a part of our system, we also have an app installed. That is our service aspect. Now, inside this app, no caregiver will ever be able to access any of this information at any given moment, but that is how all of our data is being transmitted from the device to our servers.
So a little more details about the process and how a child would actually acquire this bracelet. First of all, there must be a custody case or an abuse case already in place in the courts, meaning that the judge will mandate this bracelet similar to an ankle monitor, meaning that just not anyone can buy it. Also, he will set a period of time for the bracelet to be worn, at minimum 2 months, in order for us to gather accurate data to be shown what's actually going on in the situation.
And the data collected through the device will then be sent to an app installed on the parent's phone, which will run as a software, meaning they can't tamper with any of it or view the evidence. But that evidence that will be placed on the parent's phone will then be sent to our servers, where AI and data analysts will scan through that evidence and ping moments of suspected abuse. The information that is compiled into an easy-to-read report by the data analyst will be relayed back to the courts in order to make a ruling that is truly in the best interest for the child.
Our target market is starting off fairly small in just Jefferson County, Kentucky. Now, Jefferson County, Kentucky experienced over 20,000 instances of child abuse cases in just 1 year alone. We're starting there so that we can establish ourselves as a trusted means of evidence before expanding into the next 5 counties with the highest rates of child abuse. From that point, we're hoping to implement ourselves into foster care systems as well as custody court cases all over the country. But is this possible today?
In short, the answer is yes, absolutely. There's no new technology. This technology is already being used. Think of Fitbits and Apple Watches. This technology is already on the market, and we would just be able to acquire the devices to use for our product. Now, the second step would be getting this implemented into courts. We would do this through state legislator to get this passed as used as evidence. And once it's passed, we would then be able to roll out this product.
This as well has already been used. Think of ankle monitors, for example.
So what about revenue? We'll be using a business-to-business revenue model through a monthly subscription fee for our service, filtering through the data, and then also revenue from the product itself, the bracelets that we will be producing.
Now, how is Safe to Wear different? Well, we have no competition inside of our market. There is no other company that is doing the same thing that we are.
With this game plan and the support of the courts, we can help prevent death due to child abuse and neglect, and help heal a broken court system one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's give all of the teams who pitched just tonight a big, big round of applause. So my name is Neil Pollard, and I am teaching assistant professor of entrepreneurship. So judges, you are welcome to go, actually. You don't get to be here for my song and dance. So judges, you'll go and deliberate. And while that's happening, teams, I get to chat with you a little bit. So again, my name is Neil Pollard. I'm teaching assistant professor for entrepreneurship here at the University of Denver. And I'd say this every single chance I get, I have probably the best job in the entire world. And so my boss and my boss's boss are leaving the room right now, but I would do this for free if they made me. So my whole job, my entire job is to work with all of these wonderful young people that are sitting here. So I'm proud to say that more than half of the teams represented here were actually mine. And so, so I'm thrilled to get to say that. And even if you weren't my team, I'm crazy proud of you all too, because this is hard. This is not easy to get up here and do this. What most of you maybe realize, all of the students here realize this, but many of you at home who are watching, parents and loved ones here, most of these teams had 5-6 weeks to work on this. So in 6 weeks, they put this together and were able to do an incredible job. And so I'm incredibly proud of all of you, whether you made it into the Madden Challenge or not, whether you made it up here on stage or not. This is a really big deal. And so, so give yourselves a hand. I get to work with young people like this all the time. And one of them, her name is Claire, and she's going to come up here right now. And I get to talk to her a little bit about her experience. So Claire was in this class spring of last year and went through the exact experience that you've all gone through. And now she has gone on to do some other pretty cool things within entrepreneurship. And so even though you all weren't allowed to use note cards, I wrote down a bunch of questions that I'm gonna ask her while our judges are deliberating. So sometimes the judges take a few minutes, sometimes the judges take a little bit longer to sort of deliberate and see who's going to emerge from this crop of teams that we're pitching. But Claire, I want to invite you to tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what your path looks like here at DU.
Well, it's a windy path, definitely. And this class actually, oh, my Snickers are coming out of my pants. So actually my path at DU has actually changed a lot since taking this class. It made me realize that not only did I want to be an entrepreneur, but I could. which I thought was super cool. And before this class, I was kind of thinking basic thoughts like, I'm a finance major, maybe I'll go into like investment banking or venture capital or something like that. But then this class came along and I realized all I ever want to do is own my own business. And I'm in Professor Polly's class in his office all the time, bothering him with all of my business ideas. So if the current startup that I'm running fails, I definitely am going to go to one of those ideas and continue being an entrepreneur, continue owning my own business.
So how did your team do in the Madden challenge when you went through?
My team didn't make it.
Right.
We weren't even here. So my idea that I pitched was no one wanted to be a part of my team. And so I just joined a different team and I ended up pursuing the idea that I pitched outside of class. And meanwhile was kind of like half-heartedly working with my team and going through the motions.
Tell me that.
I know, well, I passed the class, so. But yeah, so we didn't do super well, but I took all of the lessons that I learned from being in that group and applied it to my own company.
Yeah. Well, and so that's kind of the point, right? Is that no matter how you do in this competition, you can still go on to do incredible things in your own business. And so what advice do you have for these folks as they're emerging? So we're heading into week 10 next week. What advice do you have for them as they continue their process in this class, but also their maybe entrepreneurial journey here at DU?
Learn to take bad news well. I continue to just hear bad news after bad news and failure after failure. And I think you have to love that process of failure and hearing what you don't want to hear and kind of picking yourself up and just continuing anyway. And that's kind of basic advice, but that is what the advice that I would like to have taken when I was just starting out.
So if you all look to your left, we got some big checks coming in here. All right. So Claire, I find you to be one of maybe the most entrepreneurial people I've ever met, and I'm a professor of entrepreneurship. So this is what I do and think about all day, every day. And so I'm curious, where does that come from?
Well, it's always been there. Like I remember being 8 or 9 years old and my mom would take me to the river and we'd hang out by the river, but I would go pick up rocks that I found interesting and I would pitch them to her. I would sell them to my mom, these rocks. And there were a whole bunch of rocks, but I would kind of leverage that guilt that I knew my mom would feel in order to buy these rocks. So I was kind of already getting a feel for like marketing and how that works. And then years later, I started a earring company. And
how old were you then?
13.
Okay.
So yeah, I was 13 and I went around my yard and I picked up our chickens' feathers that had fallen off. And even back then I was like, my company was centered around sustainability. So 10 years ago, feather earrings were super in. And so I capitalized on that. But the difference between mine and my competitors was that mine was completely sustainable and it wasn't, plucked from chickens' skin, like a lot of times it is. And then what was really cool actually was almost exactly to the day, 10 years later, after I was selling those earrings at a Christmas market, I was selling with illegal oats at a different Christmas market. That was a really cool moment.
So we're going to talk about illegal oats here in a second. So I'm going to let you, so Claire's company is called Illegal Oats. Yes, we're in Colorado. I'm going to let you try and guess what's in Claire's oats, okay? So based on all these experiences you've had in your lifetime, what skills and traits or like character traits do you possess that you think that help you the most as you're running and growing your business and exploring business ideas? What skills and abilities do you have that you think you lean on the most?
I think I've actually just gotten really good at pretending to know what I'm doing. And if you can pretend to look like you know what you're doing, it's really surprisingly how far that can get you. So I actually don't think I have really any like particular amazing skills or experience that has helped me, but rather just kind of faking my way through, which actually would be another piece of entrepreneurial advice I would give anyone, just fake it.
So I would disagree with what you just said, but not the fake it part, because I do that all the time. But I think that your perseverance, not perseverance, yeah, perseverance, but also your drive to do things and your follow through makes every single thing that you do pretty much happen. And so Claire and I will have a discussion about a marketing idea or a packaging idea or something. This will be maybe Friday afternoon, and Monday morning at 8 o'clock, she's like, all right, I took delivery of the stuff we were talking about. How can we put this in place? I'm like, I just got back here, and she's already got it going. So I think that's one of your big skills. So talk a little bit about your business that you started. I heard that you were on the news.
My shining moment.
Yeah.
Sacramento daytime television. So yeah, I'll start with illegal. So I founded this company based on the idea that we could actually put insects into foods that we eat every day. So there's this huge problem of food sustainability, and a lot of the protein that we get in our diets is from conventional meat like pigs and cows and stuff, but they exploit resources and they pollute and all these horrible things that come with that protein. But insects are completely clean. They contain even more nutrients than other meats. So that was my idea. And there's no real products out there right now that are easily accessible. Like when you think of eating bugs, like a lot of people will come and tell me they've eaten bugs. And what they mean is like they've had a scorpion and a popsicle. And so there's this huge gap in the market for people just like you and me and everyone in this room who doesn't have access to insects, unfortunately. So I'm trying to bridge that gap where I can, wake up in the morning, have insects in my granola. Right now I'm doing granola, which actually I forgot to mention. That's where the oats come in. I was thinking, when I pitched the idea, I was thinking really big and thinking about all these different meals and stuff, which actually would be another piece of advice is kind of think big and then start small and do little steps. Otherwise, you're going to get super overwhelmed, which I dealt with at the beginning. So yeah, there was this huge gap where like now with illegal oats, I can have insects in my diet, and by putting the insect powder in staples, it's really easily accessible. And I just got nutritional information from the help of the True Blood grant, and I heard that my honey nut flavor has, in 1/2 cup, it has 10 grams of protein. And so that's like 6 times the normal amount of protein in granola, even granola that's like natural and claims to be healthy.
So Claire's referring to a couple of the supports that we have. So one is called the True Blood Collaboratory, and it's for students to apply for, and it's a $5,000 grant for you to test an idea that is truly disruptive. And I don't know about you, but I feel like Claire's trying to disrupt the granola industry here. So Claire also has an office at the garage. So many of you, if you're in my class, you've been to the garage a whole bunch of times. But the garage is our on-campus student business incubator. And so Claire has an office in the basement of the garage, and it's her space to be able to start and grow and store and really work on her business from there. And so are you still farming mealworms over there?
Oh yeah, my mealworm fail. So it's such like a classic entrepreneur story, is that so I'm doing what a lot of people don't do. And so I'm kind of like making up my own rules and like clearing the path and figuring out like how to do this, because there's no handbook on how to put insects in food. So I use mealworms because they don't have the strong taste that crickets do. A lot of people don't know that. So I started this mealworm farm to be more self-sufficient, because also another thing that people might not know, Mealworms are $16 a pound, and so that really cuts into profit. So I started this mealworm farm, just like boxes with all bran and then mealworms in it, and I kept them in my office at the garage. And I love my mealworms so much. I don't have pets in my apartment, so like the mealworms that I'm eventually going to bake became my pets. And so I took care of them. I gave them fresh fruits. They really like apples. And I cleaned their cage like every couple of weeks. But the whole point was to farm the mealworms. And I realized the whole time that I had been cleaning their cages, I was dumping out their eggs. And so when the beetles all died and I had no new beetles, I realized where the problem was.
You
So
threw all your inventory in the trash.
I did.
Entrepreneurs make mistakes, and we do it all the time. I can probably tell you a dozen stories about businesses that I have that we've made huge mistakes and then been able to come back from. So as you think about your future in as an entrepreneur, as a student here at DU, what kind of supports have you used here at DU to start and grow your businesses, and which ones will you hope to use or continue to use as you continue in your path here?
Yeah, well, I can confidently say if it wasn't for DU and all the resources, I wouldn't have started Illegal Oats. I'd still be like struggling as a finance student with no idea what I wanted to do. So I've used a lot of their financing and have used that to buy equipment and all these things. But there's also actually a lot of like emotional support that comes from professors, and there's so much guidance from people who are industry experts. Even if there's like not a professor here who can help, all of the professors have contacts and you can meet with them, and everyone loves an entrepreneur. So it's definitely a lot of the funding, which is like the micro grants, the pitch competitions, and the True Blood grant. I've used all of those. And then just a lot of like mental support from you.
Cool. Well, anything else you want to share with them before I let you go?
Yeah, so if you have a connection to a grocery store or any influencers out there who would like to be an ambassador for my product, also you can follow me on Instagram at illegal_oats. That's where I have everything posted and all the information.
Did you bring any granola for people to sample?
No, I thought about it, but I didn't want it to like make the night about me.
Well, let's give Claire a hand. Thank you so much for doing this and getting to share your story. There is Illegal Oats granola in the garage right now. Claire's always got a flavor that she's sampling or asking for feedback. She'll put marketing messages on the wall and ask for people to vote or make decisions and those sorts of things. And so all of that is wonderful. And so Claire mentioned a couple of grant opportunities. So we have a micro grant through the Office of Entrepreneurship, and any student team from any college, any school at the University of Denver can apply for the micro grant. It's $1,000 to test an idea. So you have a plan, you put together a pitch, and you send it to us, and we review them each week. And most ideas are accepted, many with revisions. And so we'll say, like, if you're wanting to pay for a patent lawyer, I was like, well, hang on. Let's find out if you have something worth patenting first, and then we'll pay for a patent lawyer. So lots of students are using grants at any given time. So the micro grant is $1,000. The True Blood Collaboratory is $5,000. Claire won a pitch competition last year. How much did you? I don't remember how much that was, but anyway, she's been able to start and grow her business largely due to, well, primarily due to her drive and perseverance, but largely with the support of some of the financial support that we have at the garage. And so one last thing that I want to share with you before I see a bunch of judges coming back. One thing I want to share with you before the judges come back and share with you their thoughts. We have this summer coming up what's called Base Camp. Base Camp is generally the jumping off point for an incredible adventure. And so our Base Camp this summer is a 6-week summer accelerator. Stands for building and starting student entrepreneurship or enterprises. And we are taking applications right now from student teams, and we will accept 5 teams into Base Camp. It is from August 1st through basically the beginning of fall quarter. And all teams that are accepted get a $5,000 stipend, mentorship, an office in the garage, and we're going on cool field trips, and really just allows you to inject some momentum into your business. And so I encourage every single one of you to think about it. You know, I know lots of you have summer plans, you got internships, or you've got things going on, and that's wonderful. But we are trying to invest in the next wave of entrepreneurs coming out of Daniels and coming out of the Office of Entrepreneurship here. And those of you sitting here are a big, big part of that. And so anyway, I want to thank you all for letting me chat with you for a little bit. And Professor Ross will come back up and we'll get to the most important part. So anyway, thank you all.
All right.
I got this.
All right. That was a lot of fun, a little tense, a lot of anxiety, but we have the first, second, third place winner. But before we announce the winners, I want to give our judges the opportunity to say a few words. So we'll start from my left. Lisa, please.
Is this on? So first, I just want to say amazing job, all of you. The professor and me grow in bounds and leaps since starting beginning of the quarter, and great job. And we had a really hard time deciding.
Robin.
I want to say, as an entrepreneur and as a professor who has taught this class, I am so impressed and proud of each and every one of you. What you have done is extraordinary. I wanted to also share, I was asked a question the other day from a former student of mine. What would I advise myself if I could as a freshman? I thought about that. What a great question. If I could go back in time and give myself advice, I would tell myself it's okay to fail. Try to fail, because failure will only give you an opportunity to pivot, learn, and grow. So keep trying, keep failing, and believe in yourself. Thank you for letting me be here. This was a privilege and pleasure. And thank you to Joshua, to Neil, and to Ashley for facilitating this wonderful program.
Great. Brian Abrams again. Great to meet you guys. Great job. I'll echo the failure comment. I failed twice as an entrepreneur. And when I realized I couldn't do it, I became a venture capitalist. So sometimes the failures lead to the next thing. But you guys all succeeded. I had a benchmark kind of average number in my mind tonight, and every single rating for every single team in every single aspect of this was above that and really exceeded expectations on every level. In real life, if I can help you guys at any point in your careers, find me on LinkedIn, connect. I'd love to do it. Congrats.
I was privileged to actually do the first Madden challenge 10 or 11 years ago. I already forgot. Which Professor Ross talked a little bit about earlier when we kicked this off. To see the program start from then and then now, like, you should all really be proud of yourselves. Like, the level of professionalism, the novelty in your ideas is really impressive. I mean, I know a lot of you were in high school just a few months ago. Like, it's wild to think that you're thinking of these ideas now. Just think what you're gonna have after you go through 3-4 years of college here at DU. So be proud of that. Test your ideas, talk to people, share. Don't be afraid to fail. Have fun.
Thanks, all of the judges. Awesome. One observation when I was sitting over there, and this happens more often than not, which makes me very excited about this future generation. All these ideas are impactful, very purpose-driven, trying to solve real problems and help people. You know, people have these different comments about Gen Z. I hang out with you all the time, and I'm pretty excited about what you're all going to accomplish. And all of you, those of you that just made it to the science fair or made it to the pitch competition or is one of the top 3, you all should be very proud of yourselves. And this is going to be a huge step in terms of a nice launching pad for your time here at the University of Denver. But I know you want me to stop talking. I get those looks from my kids as well. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to start with the third place. Then please come up here, your team, when I call you. And then I want you also to say a few words as well. So for third place in the fall, the winter 2022 Madden Challenge, it's safe to wear. Come on up. Okay, say a couple words, and then you're going to take a picture with your professor, or you could do the same.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for everyone who came around to our booth. We really appreciate just getting the chance to talk to everyone about it. For all the teams that we saw and talked to, you guys did an incredible job. So thank you to everyone for the opportunity. And thank you to Professor Pollard, who would literally move mountains for us during this project.
I just want to reiterate that. Thank you for helping us with everything.
Big hand.
That's all I got.
Take off your mask for a quick second. Well done. Awesome. Thank you. So kind of a funny story in the, I'm going to call Professor Pollard out for a second. In the fall, he had 3 of the 6 final teams. So statistic, what?
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Wait, no, let me finish the story. Just like the slides. Statistically, he should have done very well, right? He had a good opportunity. Donut hole, 0. So tonight, his odds have increased. Where are my stats students out in the audience? Okay, help me out with this one. Stats. Of the 6 teams that were in the final round of the pitch competition, Professor Pollard has all 6 teams. What are... I think he's got a good shot tonight. Okay. For second place, and I will tell you, there was a lot of deliberating in the judges' room on first and second. We had a tie, and there was a lot of deliberating, a lot of discussion, and everybody should be very, very proud of what they did. For second place, Bios Medical.
Hi guys. Thank you for all of you for being, or thank you to all of you for being here. We really appreciate it. We've put a lot of work into this, and we just want to say thank you. And like the last team, thank you, Professor Pollard, for everything you've done.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's get it.
Students, you do not get to keep the checks, by the way. We had students last year that tried to, oh, go ahead. Oh, just go that way. Somebody will grab it. Okay. First place in the winter 2022 Madden Challenge competition is Life-Saving Systems.
The bun cakes pay off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for letting us have the opportunity to come up here. And thank you, judges, again for your time. I hope the bun cakes give you something back. You have the slick to revise if you don't think we're the winners anymore. Thank you to the team for doing so much hard work and getting here. I'm going to stop talking now.
I just want to say that I am literally shaking. You can see, but anyways, I think that, you know, I came into this really like focusing and saying, what am I going to get out of business? It's been a really hard run. And just a huge thanks to Professor Pollard. I felt like I kept on texting him and he was getting really annoyed. But huge thanks to that. And Sam, who is right here, and everyone else. I think that we were a great team, and it clearly shows what hard work does.
Grab the corner.
Everybody, get a hand on this bad boy. Mask, put the mask down. Smile's going. All right. Thank you so much. New tattoos, baby.
Okay.
Put it in my car.
I do want one.
Before we end tonight, I just want to thank everybody for coming, spending your evening with us. I also want to acknowledge a few people. First, I want to thank the judges. So please, big round of applause for taking the time tonight. I also want to acknowledge our awesome faculty. Mike Rockwood back there. Where's John Sebesta and Neil Pollard, who taught this quarter? I got everyone. Oh, and Colleen Riley, who's not with us tonight. She's presenting in Vanderbilt University tonight. Thank you. And this whole event does not happen without Ashley Mercer, who's in the back. Raise your hand, Ashley. Big round of applause. So thank you all for being here tonight. And students, this is just the beginning. I challenge you to take the next step. Entrepreneurship at DU, the University of Denver, has many resources. Our goal is to help you catapult you to what you're going to do next, whether you go work for someone or you decide to work for yourself. You may want to keep working on this idea. As you saw Claire, who was up here earlier, she didn't win the Madden Challenge, and she's having amazing success of what she's doing. So don't stop now. Just think about this as the beginning and look at it and come to us and see how we can help you at Entrepreneurship at DU. Thank you all for your time tonight. Drive safe. Be well.